There were some signs today that we could see the Treasury and the opposition benches agree and build consensus on something. Rajnath Singh called Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge earlier to bring them on board to elect the next Speaker of the House unanimously. There were also some murmurs that NDA will agree to have a Deputy Speaker from the opposition ranks. But talks went only so far and derailed soon after. What followed was a more familiar war of words between the two sides, with charges and counter-charges flying fast. While the Congress claims that Rajnath Singh never called back with support for an opposition deputy speaker like they wanted, BJP says Congress put conditions on giving support to their candidate for the speaker's post, which is unacceptable to them. Back to square one, as they say. What we have on our hands is now the third election only to the speaker's post in our independent history. Meanwhile, battle lines are also drawn for the deputy speaker's post, where opposition insists they should get the honours as per quote-unquote convention again. BJP accuses them of forgetting convention in states where opposition is in power. What should be routine is a matter of war. Is this a sign of things to come in this parliament session for the new Lok Sabha term? Are we doomed to see fight over fights all over again with very little work as we've seen in the past? We'll take that question to our guests in just a bit. After the face-off over the pro tem speaker, the fight is now over these two posts. Just to outline where both sides are standing as far as this battle is concerned. As I said, when it comes to the speaker position, the opposition says that government must follow convention, but the NDA says that opposition is dictating terms. The deputy speaker must be from the opposition is what they're saying, and government must follow that convention. But the NDA says that the opposition doesn't follow what it preaches. Basically, they've given examples of states where they have not followed this. Let me actually break down those examples that have come to life. So this is what the BJP is saying. Look at the states where the opposition is ruling, where the same convention that they're talking about, that is being cited by them, is not being followed. These include states like West Bengal, where both the speaker and the deputy speaker is coming from the TMC, Tamil Nadu, where DMK has both positions, Karnataka, where Congress came to power recently and Congress has both positions. Similarly, Telangana is one of those states where the Congress came to power recently. There, one post of the speaker is with the Congress and the other one is vacant, the deputy position. Jharkhand, JMM plus Congress, they have the speaker, but the deputy speaker position is vacant. Punjab, both positions are with the Aam Aadmi Party. And of course, when it comes to the state of Himachal Pradesh, both are with the Congress. In Kerala, both are with the LDF, which is the left-aligned ruling coalition. This will be, as I said, the only third election for Speaker in Indian Parliament history. In 1952, G.V. Malvankar versus S. Shantaram had taken place, and Congress's Malvankar had won with a vote of 394 count. Then in 1976, B.R. Bhagat versus Jagannath Rao. Congress's Bhagat won, beating Jangsang's Rao and served as Speaker during emergency. Now it will be Om Birla of the NDA versus K Suresh of the Congress or the India bloc, and the voting is to take place at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Just a reminder of how the numbers stack up, although it is not so much a numbers game but possibly more an intention game, showing the NDA or the Treasury benches that we are going to give you opposition even if we don't have the outright numbers. The NDA of course has the majority at 293, well past the magic number of 272. India Alliance at 232, others at 17. Remember, 542 is the strength currently as far as Parliament is concerned, because the Wayanad seat which Rahul Gandhi vacated is empty. With that, the first big debate that's coming up is simply this. This war has broken out over the speaker's post. There was pro tem speaker before this, and there will be deputy speaker after this. Is this a sign of things to come?
राजनाथ सिंह जी ने कल शाम कहा था कि वो खारगे जी को कॉल रिटर्न करेंगे। अभी तक राजनाथ सिंह जी ने खारगे जी का कॉल रिटर्न नहीं किया है।
सुबह भी माननीय खड़गे जी से माननीय राजनाथ सिंह जी ने चर्चा करनी चाहिए, पर वो किधर व्यस्त थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि वेणुगोपाल जी आपको बात करेंगे।
स्पीकर का पद को लेकर के आज तक चुनाव नहीं हुआ और स्पीकर किसी एक पार्टी का नहीं होता है।
प्रधानमंत्री कहते एक चीज़ है, करते कुछ और। कल कहा था सहमति का, और आज जो उप अध्यक्ष का पद है वो देने के लिए तैयार नहीं।
जिस तरीके से विपक्ष की इस बार भूमिका रही है और शर्तों के साथ जिस तरीके से विपक्ष सामने आया है कि आप डिप्टी स्पीकर के पद पर सहमति कीजिए, मुझे नहीं लगता कि उचित है।
First up, I want to go across to Karti Chidambaram, Congress MP, joining us. Karti, thanks a lot for speaking to me on Plain Speak. Congratulations on taking your oath again as the parliamentarian today. And with that, I just want to dive in.
Thank you.
To what we're witnessing. We hoped that there could be some consensus building, but that's not to be the case. And I'm sure you're aware of what the NDA is saying, that the opposition is trying to dictate terms to them. You know, the whole thing about how they wanted to decide on the deputy speaker's name, as NDA alleges,
I've heard you.
even as the speaker was being discussed.
Remarks.
Go ahead.
See, the point is, the NDA must read the mandate of the people of India correctly, and they must act responsibly. The mandate is not for the NDA to have a free pass. The mandate is not for the NDA to run a government, definitely not for the BJP to run a government by diktat of 1.5 people. There has to be consensus, there has to be discussion. And the onus of building consensus is with the government. And the government was churlish and petty in denying Mr. Suresh, an 8-term MP, an honorific post of pro-term speaker, which really has no power, just for 2 days to swear in the members. Even that was denied. Then secondly, if you really want to build consensus and you want a functioning parliament and you want a dialogue with a sizable bloc, we are not a small bloc anymore, we are 230 plus, at least the deputy speaker's post should have been offered. Since none of it is being offered, you are pushing us to a corner, so we are forced to have a contest. We are very, very realistic, we know what the numbers are, but we still need to prove a point by saying that we shall have a contest because the government is unwilling to build a consensus.
Can I ask you, the second charge against the opposition bloc is that you raise convention, particularly the Congress party, as per convenience. I listed out the states where the opposition is in power, including the state that you come from, Tamil Nadu.
I heard you.
No such convention is being followed for the opposition there.
You see, this is complete whataboutery. You know, every time you raise something, they'll always go back to the past or point out to another incident. The point is, we are here right now. We have the mandate from the people is for a collective, congenial kind of an atmosphere, which has to be built around this parliament and this government. But the government is unwilling to do that. What has changed in this government? They have not even changed the ministers. The ministers are the same people in the same portfolios. And they have put the same candidate for speaker as well. So what is going to change? Nothing is going to change. They somehow believe that they have been given a mandate to continue what they have been doing. That is not the case. They have been defeated in their own citadel of Ayodhya. I mean, it was their crowning glory of their entire political movement for the last 30-40 years.
But that's not an answer to the fact that convention then should be followed by all sides. Why not follow it in states if you want it to be followed as a courtesy at the
government now
centers?
Start leading it. I mean, you are now saying that you're a global leader. Start by leading by example. Start building the consensus. Then you will have the moral right to point out where this kind of precedents and this kind of convention is not followed. Why can't they do that? What has this government done which is different from the last time? They're still trying to run a bulldozer government, which won't really happen because the numbers are not, we won't allow them to run a bulldozer government, but they're attempting to run a bulldozer government all over again.
That was going to be my final question to you.
What has changed in the attitude?
No, as far as them continuing ministers, etc. is concerned, obviously that's for the BJP or the NDA to answer. But the question that would be in the minds of the public is, are we in for a more, a confrontational parliament, given, the strength of the opposition bloc that you've pointed out to? Is that going to lead to more work and possibly healthier debate, or is that going to lead to more disruptions?
The onus is completely with the government and with the new speaker. In the last parliament, which I was part of as well, not one adjournment motion was allowed, which means we had no right to pick the agenda which could be debated upon. Let us see what the attitude is going to be. If they're going to continue with exactly the same attitude and style and tenor of the 17th Lok Sabha, you will exactly have the same results as the 17th Lok Sabha all over again in the 18th Lok Sabha.
I want to ask you about that mandate you talked about. You're saying the mandate is not this, the mandate is this. The NDA, completely disagrees with it. You may have heard some statements. They say the mandate is not with the opposition either. They should not act like they can dictate what the government of the day does. Fundamentally, the majority is with the NDA today.
I agree they have the majority. That's why they have formed government. Otherwise, we would have formed government, and we would have had a prime minister of our choice. I mean, I agree that the numbers are with them, but the numbers also are not in their favor in terms of running a bulldozer government. The people of India want them to build a consensus. The parliament is almost evenly stacked up, and they must respect that mandate and have a dialogue. And they are not even willing to cede something as symbolic as a pro tem speaker. Can you imagine? I mean, is that statesmanship? Is that a government which actually wants to build bridges with the opposition? You couldn't even give a position which was only ceremonial for 2 days. I mean, they are so petty that they won't even withhold that. And then you say that we are misreading the mandate and we're being hard-nosed about it. The give has to be from them. They have to give. They are in a position to give, and they have to give.
They have to give, you're saying, they have to make the gesture. Can I just also ask you, this whole thing about rules versus convention is the debate these days, both on the pro tem speaker issue and also on the issue of the deputy speaker. While there is no rule that dictates that it should happen in a certain manner, the Congress or the opposition has been claiming convention. The BJP has just a short while ago pointed out at history of how the first opposition deputy speaker came to be. That was done more as a tactic to bring an adversary on board by Jawaharlal Nehru than anything else. That quote-unquote convention started only as realpolitik, as they say.
Perhaps, but that's how conventions are formed. I mean, how do conventions happen? I mean, you covered sport. I mean, there are certain gestures and habits which become conventions in sport. If you have a lead cord in tennis, you always put your hand up. There's no rule which says that you put your hand up when you win a point on a lead cord, right? But you still put your hand up. That's considered polite behavior in tennis, isn't it? You cover tennis, you know that. That's how it is. It's how actions which are repeated, which are respected, become conventions and which are followed all the time. I mean, what is the give this government has done after not getting? They have come down. Their mandate has come down from the last time. And what have they learned from that? What is their understanding of this mandate? Is it business as usual? That's not the mandate they've got.
And the opposition will continue to remind them of that.
They will. Of course, we will remind them. It's our job to remind them. We will remind them. The people of India have given us a responsibility of acting as a counterbalance in Parliament and as a counterweight to the government. That's exactly the mandate they have given us. They have not given us the mandate to rule India. I agree with that. But they have also given us a mandate to act as a counterweight.
Okay. Okay, all right. I do appreciate Karti Chidambaram for joining us. Let's wait and see what the tone and tenor of the new parliament session is going to be in the new Lok Sabha as discussions, debates start. But of course, before that is the election to the speaker and possibly an election to the deputy speaker that follows too. Let's open this up to our other guests joining us. Tom Varakan of the BJP is joining us. We have Professor Manojit Mandal, political analyst, Tushar Gupta, senior journalist with us. I'm also awaiting the Congress party spokesperson, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, for joining us. Let me begin with Tom Varakan. Tom Varakan, the opposition is in no mood to give. The opposition believes that the way the business used to run in Parliament, when you had, majority on your own as a party and 300 plus is not going to work anymore. The government will have to give and, show a gesture that they're willing to build consensus. And short of that, the opposition is not going to cooperate with you.
Well, where have they shown any cooperation? Look at the last parliament session. They were grabbing headlines, they were using the same toolkit. And that has been their strategy all through. When we wanted a discussion, they would walk out. So their antecedents are well known. So it's nothing that they're bringing any value addition with a little more numbers. So let's rest that case on the fact that they are arguing that we are not subscribing. They are putting, conditions on the speaker's election that if you have you can't do that. If you want a consensus, you talk about the speaker, talk about the deputy speaker when it comes to you. But then you say, well, these are the conditions, these are the things that you would do. And if that is the case, why should anybody come into a consensus on gunpoint? Sorry, that's not the case. Here
you're saying gunpoint. The opposition says that, see, when you reached out to us, you wanted to build consensus on the speaker's position. Why not also build consensus on the deputy speaker's your position? It could have been a give and take. Yes, it's a give and take, but then that's how it works sometimes.
The point here is you don't combine two things. You're talking about this speaker, okay? Settle the matter of the speaker, then bring to the table the next issue. But if you say that we will only discuss the speaker's issue if you agree to the deputy speaker. And they say it's convention. What convention are we talking about? Telangana, there is no deputy speaker, it's going on. Karnataka, you have deputy speaker with them. Tamil Nadu, what is happening? They have both the sides, the speaker, the deputy speaker. Bengal, speaker, and then they talk about convention, democratic tradition. What is this? Democratic traditions have to be a two-sided game.
Okay.
You don't agree to that, and then, we will take issues based on single issues first, decide on the spokesman, on the speaker, and then
move
to the
forward.
question of deputy speaker.
Okay, I think this is also about drawing a line from the NDA that, you're not going to be able to dictate terms to us either, while the opposition wants to send out a message that you're not going to be able to bulldoze us. As they feel has happened in the past, the numbers game has changed. Bhavya is also with us. Bhavya, the natural question that arises is that why is it that the Congress party, as the leader of the opposition, but even the DMK, the TMC, the left front, which is part of the India bloc, you don't follow that convention in states where you have government? Then how do you expect that quote-unquote convention to be followed magically only for you when it suits you?
No, let's first start with when they reached out, to come to a consensus regarding the speaker position, what we did was
All right, looks like I've lost her. Let me go across to Manojit Mandal. Manojit, do you think it's fair what the opposition is saying? I'll come to the whole issue of how the TMC, part of the India bloc, has once again felt a little sidelined on the entire speaker's choice. Plus, there is the deputy speaker issue coming up. But do you think it's fair that in states, the Congress and others like the TMC don't follow this, but they want it to be followed in Lok Sabha just because they feel they have stronger numbers now?
I think two situations are certainly not comparable because here after giving that call ab ki baar 400 par and the results, even the Prime Minister at one point of time was losing, and the kind of margin of votes that has come down to 4.5 lakhs to 1.5 lakh, that speaks volume about the way he was running the government. In fact, almost two-man government that we had seen in the last 10 years. In fact, 2.5, I should be saying. The Shah, Shahenshah and Ajit Doval is 2.5. And now they are talking about democracy. That's fine. And that's why we thought that they would really talk about democracy. When on the very first day of the parliament, the Prime Minister said that we'll reach out to the opposition, we'll build consensus, we'll talk to the state, we'll continue with the federal system. I mean, these things were certainly things of the past for the last 10 years. We thought that the Prime Minister of this country and the whole of the BJP learned a lesson after what the kind of thumping moral defeat they had after getting
But
only
there's nothing called
240
moral
seats.
defeat, no, Manojit Mandal. That's
Yes.
like
So
taking
that's-
the verdict or the
that's
numbers
that's
a
the
little bit
problem.
too far.
That's the problem.
Can I just
I mean,
request you to
it's
just hold on? Can I just request you to hold on? I'm coming back to you. Bhavya is back with us. Yes, Bhavya. Why not follow the convention yourself? Then you will have the moral high ground to ask for it.
One thing is about convention, and the other thing is our Congress president, the National Congress president, when they reached out asking for a consensus, he clearly said, you know what, the deputy speaker, just as the pro tem speaker, as per the convention, why don't you appoint an 8-term MLA, MP, a Dalit MP, who is the senior most in the house, right? And to be at least respectful, they were supposed to get back. It's very important to respect our Congress president. One. And third time, you said there is nothing called moral defeat. Yes, there is. If today, BJP, as per their claim, if they did have 400, trust me, there would not be anything that opposition could have done. The people of this country have taught them a lesson that, you know what, it is not your way or the highway. Democracy doesn't work like that. Opposition should always be stronger. Yes, we are not going to let you play the way you played last time.
But
This
why
was
not
a moral
follow
defeat
that
for them.
example in
If this
states
was not-
too?
if
My
this-
question
if
is
this
this.
was not a moral defeat, like Mr. Modi said, they would have won for 400 seats. They would not have depended on exactly, two of their alliance partners who are against their whole ideology and all their plans. Every
Okay,
plan
but
that they
my
proposed
question is
during
not
their
that. My
manifesto
question
was
is why
completely
not
defeat.
follow that convention in the spirit of democracy, which the Congress and the India bloc is talking about? Why not follow that in states where you are in power? How is anybody supposed to believe your word when you don't follow that convention or give the opposition that honor in states where you are in power?
Are you talking about Telangana? or the state?
Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, West
Karnataka,
Bengal.
I think we did follow. Karnataka, we did follow the convention. Karnataka, we did follow the convention.
Yes.
Yeah, in the beginning, the speaker was different. And then only UT Khadr sir was elected. We followed the constitution exactly as it should be. And every convention and the
I think you're confusing with the
rules of
pro tem
procedure.
issue with the deputy speaker
Pro
and the
tem
speaker
issue.
issue.
No. Like, what I'm saying is, everything that Karnataka has done, that I can tell you 100% sure, because I'm from Karnataka and I've been very active during the elections. And we are very sure.
No,
let me get back to you about Telangana.
No,
because I don't want to comment on
one
something I
second.
don't know. But
The
if you're saying
information I have is that Karnataka has UT Khadr, of course, who was elected as the speaker.
Who was elected?
And
Yes.
RM Lamani, also from the Congress, as the deputy speaker. Now, if the opposition today in Lok Sabha claims that the deputy speaker post should go to the opposition as per convention, then why not in Karnataka?
As per convention of elections as well, we are asking them support. Here in Karnataka, they did not have the numbers either. There, we do have our numbers, alliance partner, right? India alliance partners have the number.
So does the
That's one
NDA in parliament.
So even if they are going by, sorry,
So does the NDA in parliament. They have the numbers.
no, exactly. In Karnataka, we have the highest majority. NDA doesn't have the number that is required for them to just randomly appoint like that.
What is that number?
They need our consensus.
There is no
That's
number
exactly
like
why
that.
they've
That's
come.
a fictitious
If they
number.
have come for the speaker position, if they have come for the speaker's position, you said there is no give and take. I think politics, we agree or not, and that's exactly how it works. They need to agree to our terms. If they want us
They
to
don't
agree
need
to
to
their
agree
terms,
to
it's
your
as simple
terms.
as
They
that.
have the numbers. If this was about
Then fine.
fighting an
Then
election,
how
then
can
it's
they
fine.
our
Then
consent?
let
And we
the
have requested for something.
let the person with the most number of votes
First thing
win.
is about-
But if this is
first-
about
first thing
convention,
about-
if this is
first
about
thing is about-
consensus and democracy, then it's not about whether you have the majority or not. I thought that's exactly the point that the Congress was making. Tushar Gupta has been waiting. Tushar Gupta, how do you read this? This is indeed the opposition flexing its muscles. Just yesterday I was discussing how the parliament session could go, and one of the speakers made an interesting point that both parties or both sides still seem to be in election mode.
Good evening, Shivani. Wonderful to be on a debate with you again after so long.
Yeah.
You know, I was hearing the Congress spokesperson, and it appears she is imagining a number that is required for the position of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. Ma'am, all you need is a simple majority, be it the State Assembly or the Parliament. Unfortunately for you, in the Lok Sabha, the India Alliance does not have those numbers. If you're going to sit here and claim that the Congress Alliance or India Alliance has the numbers to get the position of the Deputy Speaker, I'm sorry, you do not have the numbers. Now, if you're going to go about convention, between 1952 and 1969, 17 years. In those 17 years, the great Nehru was also the Prime Minister. Do you know who held the position of the Deputy Speaker? It was a Congress MP. It wasn't an MP from the opposition. So if today the Congress is going to talk about conventions, are they also saying that the first Prime Minister of India, perhaps the greatest Congress leader, Jawaharlal Nehru, did not honor that convention? You're talking about the numbers not being with the BJP, that in 240 they have been sent a message by the electorate. I was listening to Mr. Chidambaram also speaking to Shivani just a while back, and he said that they have been defeated, that the people have handed them over a defeat. Shivani, if the people have sent a message with 240 seats, then the people have been sending the same message, perhaps a stronger one, to the Congress for 40 years now. Because for 40 years, the Congress has not been able to get 240 seats in the Lok Sabha. The last time their tally crossed 240 was 1984. So what is this defeat, this moral victory for the opposition they keep talking about? I don't know. Look, everything else is noise. Tomorrow when the election happens, be it K Suresh, be it Om Birla, the only thing that will matter is numbers. And NDA has that simple majority, be it the Speaker position or the Deputy Speaker position. Everything else is theatrics. Can the India Alliance, which is not being backed by the TMC, mind you, a very important alliance partner.
Can I go back to Manojit Mandal? Because, you know, the very first order of business, Manojit, seems to be raising the cracks within the India bloc. We know how the elections went when it came to West Bengal between the TMC and the others, particularly the Congress. And now, you know, exactly the question that the India bloc faces, which is, how much can this unity survive on issues when you have conflicting interests? Here you have Abhishek Banerjee coming out on record today to say we weren't even consulted. How did the India bloc, the 232 bloc, take a call on its own? The Congress, it seems.
I think you saw the unity yesterday only. There can be issues of differences, but after all, there are two different political parties talking about. And in fact, they fought with each other in Bengal. It's because of the reasons. Doesn't mean that, you know, every other case there will be consensus. But if you think about the idea of India, the interest of the nation, I think all these parties will come together. They have come together. There can be certain micro issues where there will be differences. And that is the most fascinating part of democracy that India did not see in the last 10 years. The idea of diversity. It's a multi-party democracy, for God's sake. You have to understand that. We're talking about state assemblies. In most of the state assemblies, you have the two-party democracies where one party is owning single majority, the other is not. Here, there is not a single majority party here. You have to understand that.
No, the government has majority.
Democracy.
I think we're all hair-splitting when it comes. We're hair-splitting the verdict a little bit. Let's be fair. Manojit, let's be fair. We're hair-splitting how the numbers in parliament or assemblies may work. If the convention, I ask again, if the convention the opposition is quoting is that you should give the deputy speaker's post to the opposition, whatever their numbers, 2-party or 3-party, 4-party, it doesn't matter. We don't have those lines, those binaries in Indian politics to begin with.
Yes,
the opposition,
yes,
the largest bloc or the largest party of the opposition can get the deputy speaker's post. That's what I understand the opposition is trying to say.
Yes, that is the most pathetic part of Indian democracy. You have to have numbers by hook or crook. You buy a government, you buy the parties, you buy the MPs, buy the MLAs.
No,
who has taught us?
You've changed my question completely. I'm not talking about the government of the day being able to stitch up numbers.
I understand it. The problem, you're talking about morality. On the one hand, you are talking about Gandhi Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, everything. Do you really follow the
I
real
am not
moral
talking
man
about
in
Gandhi.
this
It's the Congress party
You
that
have
quotes
to have-
Gandhi.
You have to have this sense of morality in the ruler. When you are ruling the country, you should be more
So
responsible.
what's about the sense
It's
of
your
morality
duty.
when you're
It's
ruling a
your
state?
duty.
States don't have any conventions to follow. States don't have any morality to follow.
Two incomparable situations.
It's not
You
a
are talking
comparable
about the
situation.
nation.
Okay.
You are talking about the nation and you are talking about the federal state, which BJP doesn't even recognize at times.
Okay, so Tom Vadakan will respond to that, but can I just talk about the update that we are receiving? YSRCP will support Om Birla as far as these elections are concerned. So there you have it. 17 is the number, the paltry number the others have. YSRCP is one of them. I believe a few independents could also end up supporting the NDA. And now 4 MPs of the YSRCP that has been decimated in these elections is also going to support the NDA. So there you have it. You know, it doesn't seem like the troubles the opposition was hoping, Tushar, that the NDA will face running parliament or getting support on issues. Already when they expected that, you know, before the oath taking, there will be some great tamasha that will play out, it didn't play out. Now you're hearing the YSRCP is going to support the NDA. It's not going to be that caustic, is the message that certain section of parliament is sending.
Absolutely not, Shivani. Look, since 4th June, the opposition has been making this noise that the BJP does not enjoy the mandate of the people, that they do not have the numbers. I don't know what sort of victory the Congress has been claiming, but now with that claims, they have invited a number test on the floor of the House.
Yeah.
Before the first debate of the 18th Lok Sabha happens, the Congress has to go through a numbers test. And unfortunately, as things look now, they're going to fail it tremendously. Their own alliance partners are not backing them. And unsurprisingly for the BJP, YSRCP is backing them. YSRCP is a party which went against TDP at the state level, but it's willing to back the BJP at the national level, support Om Birla's candidature. So even if the Congress wants to talk about convention, they want to talk about history, they want to talk about anything, the truth of the fact is they just don't have the numbers, not the majority numbers, and not even numbers from their very own alliance. That's the hard truth, and that's the cruel reality the Congress has to live with.
Tom Vadakan, what do you make, first of all, of the YSRCP coming out to support Om Birla? What do you read into it? And how do you respond to Manojit Mandal saying that first you follow this whole convention dharma, the new dharma that we're hearing about in Lok Sabha, and then you talk about state assemblies?
Well, it's like the devil preaching the Bible or the gospel, you know. Morality is something that comes too heavy on the TMC.
That's level of arrogance.
And they know. Please don't interrupt. Learn to respect anybody's space, okay? Now, the point here is, they speak about morality. I don't want to dig into what was happening in West Bengal during the elections, because that is another chapter. Now, as to the question of YSRCP supporting the BJP, let it be said, they're supporting the candidature of the speaker who's done brilliantly well, and this is based on that. And if they have supported, and now TMC also is of the thought that they have not been consulted, which Mr. Mandal has not got the brief from Mamta ji, and he will go back, get his brief properly, and then come and discuss it in a different light, because his briefs is incomplete. Mamta ji has very categorically said that she doesn't support the India alliance on the speaker's issue. So let's be clear. The numbers are with us. We offered them a consensus by talking to them. They said, why don't you join this whole issue? Have the deputy spokesman issue tied up? We said, well, we'll get back to you. And we felt that we need not get back to them because it's a gunpoint deal, you know.
Well, you have the numbers, that's why the confidence is there. But, you know, I come back to Bhavya one more time. Now, look at what you're talking about, convention. And look at how Congress or opposition ruled states don't follow it themselves, including the state that you hail from, Karnataka. You haven't given the deputy speaker's post to the opposition. That is a fairly decently sized opposition in Karnataka and was in power before this session. But also about your own partners feeling sidelined. your own India bloc partners feeling sidelined and coming out and saying it in open, then what about consensus within the India bloc?
Like, you're actually talking about a constitutional consensus with within party or within alliance consensus. I don't think we should even.
Well, it's not
Right?
part of the constitution. It is a
Alliance, there will be
convention.
when it's about alliance, there will be differences sometimes on one issue or the other. It's not like BJP is, is foolproof from that. Even within BJP, within the BJP alliance, there are differences. Some of the alliance partner might not agree with some of their issues the same way. But that has nothing to do with the constitutional, when it comes to parliament.
No, but explain to me, why could the Congress, it has 98, 99 MPs, why could the Congress not take its alliance partners together? And with what face is it going to preach to the NDA that has the numbers that they should listen to what the opposition has to say? You couldn't listen to your own alliance partner.
That's exactly, Shivani. What I'm saying is, alliance partners are different. But when it comes to parliament, the opposition parties together, if they have formed an alliance, or the opposition, highest number, the opposition party which has the highest number of seats, they deserve to be heard.
Yes, but you didn't hear your own alliance partner, the TMC.
That's exactly how our parliamentary system is designed.
But you're not hearing your own alliance partner.
Our alliance partners, that's internal. What happens with BJP and their alliance is internal. What happens with India and our alliance partners is internal. That's a different issue. But our parliamentary system is designed in a very different way.
So you're saying we are not going to follow consensus within our alliance, but we expect as the single largest opposition party to get some due. You couldn't even take the members of your own alliance partner together.
Exactly. No. Just now the BJP spokesperson said something. Yes, we said we will get back, but we didn't think we were supposed to get back. Kharge ji, our Congress president, he is one of the senior most leaders within the parliament as well. Not just a national president. When you say you will get back, it's important that you get back. That shows the respect you have for our president. It's important for us to make sure our president is respected by them.
Okay, the versions of what exactly happened as far as the calls are concerned, the versions of what exactly happened as far as the calls are concerned are different. So I'm not going to get into he said, she said. Let the Congress and the BJP, of course, put their point of view across. But if this is about consensus, it cannot be pick and choose. And if this is about convention, it also, again, cannot be picking and choosing which convention and what consensus is suitable to you at one point of time and you would like to take forward. I leave it at that. We'll, of course, wait and see how this pans out. The numbers stand with the NDA, but is that going to be enough? And how will the functioning of the parliament will be handled beyond that is the big question.